All right, what's up? That's your man Big Jack, and welcome to the Gentleman's Journal, part of the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe, one of our spinoffs. And it's hard to believe it's already been another month. A whole month has passed, but we're at the end of October, and we know the last Sunday of the month we do the Gentleman's Journal. I got a wonderful group of men we're going to put up on the stage, and we're going to be trying a little bit different technique because after the Ladies' Diary, things just changed on us. So because of that, we're going to go in a different direction, but it still will be men having men's discussion about real men's issues and concerns, and I'm looking forward to it. So I don't even want to prolong the show. I don't even want to stop us from moving forward. I just want to again say thank you for everybody who has been supporting us. We've had a lot of milestones we've crossed over since the last time we've seen us. And I'm excited. And when I get my man up here, we're going to talk about some of those milestones and some of the things that's going on. And then we're going to kick off with the Gentleman's Journal. So let me get him up on the stage, and then we'll kick it off. Walt Talks, what's up?
My man, what's happening, Big Jack? How you doing, sir?
It's good, man. It's all good.
You had any sleep? You up late last night, man?
It was. We Be Jamming Live was awesome.
It was
last
good,
night, man. We had a good time.
It was good.
For anyone who's watching this and missed that, you need to go back and see the replay.
Yeah. Hey, man, it was good. And I'm looking forward to following their success.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about Curtis family, the C Notes.
Curtis family, the C Notes. Yeah, it's an incredible story. Great background, great interview. And it's pretty cool, man. I mean, that's like a reality show waiting to happen, man. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
No, it was cool. And then not taken away from them, because once the show is always over, we go behind the stage and and we're behind the stage and we're talking. And the comment was very similar to all other comments we've had about our show, and saying we've been on a lot of interviews, a lot of this, and this was one of the best ones they've ever been on. And I was like, wow, blown away just by that answer.
Great, man. Seems like a great time was had by all, but tonight we solving problems, baby. The Gentleman's Journal.
That's it. So not to prolong it and not to drag it on, but it's hard to believe it's been a whole month since the last time we was up here for the Gentleman's Journal. And time flies when you're having fun, and we're having fun. Yeah. So, but I want to get these gentlemen up here because they've come from all over the country to help us out and answer some questions today. So I want to get them up on the stage, and if we can get them up here, and then from there we're gonna have some fun. Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right. All right. All right. I'm about to do some moving around. I think everybody's in a good spot. I don't even have to move anybody. I think we're all good. So we got my man Anthony My Time. I got Eric Johnson and Doug Rome on the stage with us. These are our panelists today for the Gentleman's Journal. How you doing, fellas? What's going on?
Good.
It's all good.
Just for clarification, we're solving problems, not causing problems. Is that what
we're going to do our best? We're going to do our best. Our intent.
I need to make a note of that.
Remember, Eric. Intent is the big on the shows.
This is
our intention.
Free public service.
Is to do the right reason. But that being said, we're going to do what we can with that. How about that? So that's what's happening.
We'll put the disclaimer out there right now that nothing that we say is to be taken anywhere, personal. Don't act on it. Don't say Big Jack told me this and Walt said that and Doug told me this. Whatever and however we answer, take it with a grain of salt and say it might be something we have experienced, but at the same time, I wouldn't act on it, because we're not taking any responsibility for anything that happens from listening to us now, but we will be serious. I hope that everyone out here that all our conversation will be serious, but at the same time, we don't always sit around and talk and be serious all the time. So 100%, be yourself, be a man, and be you. Hey, Walt, I don't know if you know, and I see my time's back there. I don't know if he's like trying to adjust the stuff.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
There
Yes,
we
sir.
go. I saw my
That's why we
microphone.
do the sound check before the show, so we'll have to do the sound check during the show. But sometimes when I hit those buttons, it does cause things. In fact, we had that last night, 100%. We learned something. But for those who don't know, and that's out here maybe watching and going to learn very shortly, I went to high school with Eric and Doug. So they're a couple of years ahead of me, but we were all on the same baseball team way back in the 80s, the late 80s in Pittsburgh, Maryland. So it's great to see these guys again and see them up on the panel. They didn't even know they both was going to be up here together. I didn't even tell either one. I had to check their Facebook profile. They were still friends with each other.
Hey man, I think the note from their parents from high school is probably still active. These two are not to be in the same classroom at the same time.
Or locker room.
Let me go back to or in the locker room. That's for sure.
Oh man.
The good thing
what happens in the locker room sometimes stays in the locker room.
It's definitely Vegas, 100%. That's the Vegas logo or motto came from the locker room for sure. Let us stay in that locker room, 100. And then we got my man Anthony. My time. This is my time, and he's the man up there. And thanking him for being here on the panel today. So let me tell you something real quick, gentlemen. The ladies' diary is the first Wednesday of every month. There's a show that we do. We only did the one. It's only had the one episode. But then after they did the ladies' diaries, people were writing in, but they were men asking questions very similar to like a Dear Abby type thing, where they was like, I got questions that will be good on your show. And I wonder what the men would say if they heard my story. So I got a couple of stories here, a couple of short. They were real short emails, but it was just the fact that, they were wondering, how would it go and how would it be? So I want to read these to you. I'll read the story or read the little passage out the email. And I'm not going to go to any one of you. You'll listen to it as I'm reading it. And then if you can, give an answer. We're going to try to help these people out, but they were good questions. And I'm like, okay, I wonder, what men would think like this. How would men think in this situation? So, we know the platform now. We know the format, and I think moving forward, because the letters that keep coming in, we'll keep throwing them out and getting real answers. So these are real people. These are real questions. These are real situations. But we don't have to be real serious about our answers. I'm just telling you that.
Oh, I mean,
enjoy yourself.
You can give good information and still be and still have fun. Yeah, still have fun. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. 100%. No names, right? No names.
No names. No, right. They didn't even put their own name. So
there you go. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
So now, if you want to, and I have to put that at the bottom, and I think we'll get. I think B can change it, but change the streamer going at the bottom. But if you want to email in, you can just put it into it's Big Jack StoryTime guests@gmail.com. So that's how you can get your and I don't even know if we got it. I'll have to check and make sure, but we should have one. But that's how you would get your letters in. If you want to get a letter in, this is Big Jack StoryTime guests@gmail.com. That email might change real short because we're changing brands in a couple of days. We'll be changing brands to the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe. And so all of that should change with it. But fellas, before I even get into it, I just like, my time, how you been doing, man? Here you go. How you doing? Tell me what's going on. What's been going on with my time?
Man, I've been outstanding. Thank you for this opportunity to come up here with the fellas. It's amazing because, I've been on YouTube for like a year and a half now, got monetized and whole nine. And I took a break off exactly a year to find out where I'm going to go on the channel. And one of my friends told me, yo, you got people over there in that TK. I don't know if you can say it over here, TikTok.
Yeah, you can say it over
here. I said it, TikTok, right?
You said it.
Because I believe everybody got somebody assigned to them. So I said, that's for young kids. He said, come over here. So I went over there, did what I do. You know what I do.
Mm-hmm.
started talking, and in 3 weeks, I got monetized. I was like,
There you go.
okay. So
There it is.
I'm just saying, if you know you got something to say, just say it. People will come to you. So
My man.
that's what I've been doing the past month and a half.
Right. So you've been over there, and I know I've seen your channel on TikTok, so you can say it. I mean, we don't even though we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, but we stream to TikTok as far as cutting our shorts, and to Instagram. So we're not against any of the platforms. So it's all about the word and the message getting out. So that's good that you're hanging out. Yeah, that's good. Eric, I know you have a podcast as well, don't you?
I do. I got a few, but yeah, I have my own little network going on. But yeah, I mean, we honestly, it's just kind of a side thing we do for the company. But yeah, we've got quite the following. Real happy with them.
All right. So what's the area or the niche, I guess you would say? What are you more talking about on your show?
Computer programming, man. Specifically PHP, web development and stuff like that. So I have me and my business partner, we run PHP Architect, where we do we publish a magazine for the PHP community. We hold a conference for the PHP community, and we do podcasts for the PHP community as well. So doing all right, can't complain. Like they say, you do what you love. You never work a day in your life.
Right.
It's not totally true. You work harder. You work a lot harder, but it's fun. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, when you love it, you get more involved. It's like, there's a lot of work going on here, right? 100%. Yeah, but that's 100%. Good. And thank you for being out here and hanging with us, Eric. And Dougie Fresh, you don't have a podcast. You like Walt Talks up there. You don't
hey, man.
Yeah, I sit here on LinkedIn and I see Eric, all these podcasts that he's got going on, and I aspire to do something like that, but I don't have that leap of faith like y'all do. I mean, I like to talk for sure, but I don't know about talk about what. And
Judge hasn't lifted those restrictions yet, have they, Judge?
Here we go. And so it begins. So it begins.
Let me get this bracelet's hurting a little bit right now.
Oh man, here we go. Oh man. Hey, Jack. The over and under was Eric by 10, right? So who was gonna take the first shot publicly? Yeah. All right, so I
like that one.
Yeah.
All right, so fellas, I didn't get the question up on this. I'm gonna just read it. So I'm gonna read the question out to you or the comment, and it has a question in it, and then we'll get it out there. But it's the first person. He said the gentleman's journal. He said, I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years, and recently the topic of finances and being a provider has caused tension. She believes a man should always cover the bills, even though we both work. I was raised to believe relationships are partnerships and both people should contribute. As men, how do you balance the expectation of being the provider with the reality of wanting equality and teamwork in modern relationships? And it's signed a man trying to find balance. So, did I hit the notes? Did you get it all? Do I need to go back? And
you said his girlfriend.
His girlfriend. I'm married.
Okay.
3-year girlfriend.
That's
3 year girlfriend. Key point. 3 years girlfriend. And finances are coming up. And she believes that he should cover all the bills, even though they both work. He's been raised in a relationship. He was raised to believe that relationships is a partnership, and both people should contribute. And he's just trying to find balance. So, any one of y'all that heard that question can.
My question is to ask whoever that wrote that. What is his plans or what is his goals with this girlfriend? What is the goal with her? Is that the goal to be his wife, or is the goal just to have, just some fun? Because if you're trying to build something, you want a solid foundation. And the foundation is, what are we going for? If you're going to be married, you're going to build, your life together. Finances is part of that life. But if you're just building as a girlfriend, she can get up and leave anytime he can leave anytime he want. But the foundation is, what is your goal? What you're trying to build? So if you're building a family and you're going to do it for the long haul, you're going to provide. And if she's making money, she's going to contribute to whatever that goal is for that family. You want to buy a house. He's making, say you make $100,000 a year. She making $100,000 a year. He's taking care of the bills, right? She could put the money aside so they can come together and buy that house cash instead of getting, mortgages till you die and everything. It's the goals that you want to have at the end of the day. Is she going to be your girlfriend that you can leave, or she going to be your future wife that you're building upon to make that goal?
Okay. Look, it's out there. Anybody else? Any other comments?
I mean, I think I might have a little bit of a different opinion on it, but a relationship nowadays is just not that strict, right? It's not like if you're in a relationship, there's this expectation of marriage. But I do think if you're in a relationship, if you have started to mix and mingle those finances and stuff that you're responsible for, like if you're living together or you're sharing a vehicle or something like that, I feel like, I mean, even if you were getting married, like even if you are married, we don't live in the world that we lived in when we were children. Like, to be able to survive and thrive in this world, it has to be a partnership. No one person there should never be the expectation that one person is going to be the sole financial provider. Be nice if you get to a point where that's possible, but I think the expectation of a relationship when it's conceived, no matter what that level is, whether it's a formal relationship of a marriage or just like this life commitment you two make with each other, there has to be the expectation that, hey, we're going to be here. It's a partnership. We're lifting each other up so we can both succeed in this world. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to provide for my entire family without any worries of anybody else having to work, but it's not that easy anymore. You can't you can't support a family off of one person's job working at a grocery store anymore, like you could when we were children. So that's just how I feel about it.
That's legit. That is legit.
And exactly like Anthony said, it's about goals, right? And you got to have that conversation, know exactly what expenditures you as a couple are having every single month, what your individual budget is and what her budget is, and then know what each one is putting into it. I've always been as best as we had one shared account. If I want to do something different or special, I let it be known ahead of time. This is what I want to do. I want to play golf for Myrtle Beach the first week in December. I'm going to need this amount of money. So I got to make sure I do what's necessary to get that covered. Right. But that's a married relationship after 25 years. Right. With a girlfriend or your significant other, you got to have that conversation. And we are not back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s anymore. Things change in a moment's notice. Right. Especially with me in workforce development. I'm seeing all these furloughed workers coming in every single day that are just scared because they don't know where money's going to be coming from, but they're going to have a job. So, you got to have that plan and have that backup plan and a backup plan for that. So that's a tough question.
Okay. Hey, look, if I can follow up, these are some after I've read it, some of the follow up. So, what defines a provider in 2025? So what is that? What is it when you think of that definition of a provider in this year? Like I think Eric hit on it. It's not like it was yesteryear. So as a provider in 2025, how do we define that now?
So
Walt's ticking. So I got to hit Walt.
So I'm still on back to the question, because what I haven't heard is how old they are.
Okay.
I know he wrote the letter. Mm-hmm. So in all fairness to the young lady, he says she wants the man to do traditional things, but I haven't heard anything about her defining what a woman's traditional role was for this traditional man that she's looking for. If we're talking tradition, right? If we really going to talk about it, right?
His letter never said tradition. It just said
he said she wants to go back. Read it again.
A man, she believes that a man should always cover the bills, even though they both work.
So that's tradition. That's
Well,
traditional.
but I'm just saying she didn't.
But I'm
he
saying,
didn't-
but can we say that that's traditional? I mean, right? So
not-
so she thinks the man should always cover the bills. If
right.
that's the case, I just want to know what she's bringing to the table.
Mm.
And what are you doing with your money? Are you just balling out of control? You just shopping? You buying Birkin bags? What are you doing with your money? I just want to know that, because when it's time to go on vacation, do we have money to go on vacation? Are you bringing groceries in the house? You understand? I mean, so what exactly are you doing? Because this is here we go. Traditionally, men provide and protect, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so if that's the case, then a woman is doing what? Bringing emotional, nurturing, yada yada yada. So are you doing those things? I mean, so what are you doing? So I just need to know, in all fairness to her, the young lady, because he's making a statement. I'd like to see what she's. If you're listening, sir, I'd like to see what she's bringing to the table, what she offers, and then if you're going with her, you know, I mean, and I wouldn't start anything that you can't sustain, because marrying her is not going to be the magic pill and just fix all her wants.
You got that right. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say that again.
Marriage, kids are not just going to change things. It's going to put you further in
Challenges.
at challenges or on her side. And yeah, hey man, this would be a great question for the
Battle of the Sexes.
Battle of the Sexes too, because I mean, and I'm just trying to read behind the lines. I need between the lines. I need context.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to say that she's looking for a traditional man, and she's not willing to be a traditional woman. No, she wants it all. She wants it all.
Also,
That's
I
what I
mean, they said that they were together 3 years already, or something like that, right? Like 3 years.
3 years, yes.
I mean, we're already outside the scope of tradition, right?
There we
Like,
go. How about that?
you don't date for
That
3
part.
years. That's not happening. So,
Right. Yeah, and that's some of it too. And that was one of the things that would cross my mind was, what were you doing for the first 3 years? Because you
Right.
didn't just start getting a bill. A bill didn't just start coming today, but it could, because you could date somebody for 3 years and then you decided to buy a house and you finally moved in. I don't know all this. You don't get this from the letters.
I would love to get it, because I'm willing to bet you this. He's been suffering through this thing for a while, trying to appease her. And if he had just stood on business from the first place, he probably would have been better off. And I guarantee you, I'm willing to bet you money that if he doesn't marry her, he'll be married within 6 months for a woman that comes with another plan. I guarantee you that.
Let's look at the question, because every answer has a question attached to it. So he asked him a question. He asked him a question about the finances. He want, like you say, she want traditional. Should you pay all the bills? Could it be something that he come to realize, saying, I'm paying all these bills and she got money, or she's working. Let's just say she's working. He's paying all the bills and she's not contributing.
He said they both are working.
They both are working. So he paying all the bills. Like Walt said, what is she doing with the money?
What are you doing?
His girlfriend too, man.
You're not asking that question out of the blue. Boom. No. He probably said, "Oh, yo, I'm working 9 to 5 and work overtime to do this and that."
And I'm going to go. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I say she want this and that. And I'm still working to get this and that for her, but she's still making some money on the side too. That money's supposed to be on top of whatever the man is making, so we can have this fabulous life for everybody.
Man, look, I'm going with you. We go together. That's what we do. We go together. If I want to do something for you, I will certainly do something for you. I will certainly show you a nice time. We will certainly travel. We will certainly do nice things, right? But fellas, I think we usually know, we as men, a man and again, I don't know how old they are, so that's another thing.
No, I don't say.
But a man over 25 is serious about marrying a woman is not going to date her for 3 years. If he's serious about, because here's the thing, we only get married for one or two reasons: peace and to build that life together, because we can get everything else that women offer without being married. So if a man gets married, it's because he really loves this woman and wants to spend his life with her, or her father's got a hell of a shotgun to his head or something. But I mean, think about it, because think about it, man. Everything a non-traditional woman can offer a man can get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. We don't grow up thinking about our wedding day. That's women.
Yeah.
We don't grow up thinking I'm gonna be a prince one day and I'm gonna have this wife nah, we don't think about that. But when we find a woman that brings us peace, that gives us respect, we all in. We all in.
Yeah.
We are all in. And he probably would be taking care of major responsibilities anyway. But once she says that, I guarantee you, he is having a what the heck did I get myself into moment. I bet you my life. If he's over 25, I bet you my life he's having that moment. And if he's not, he should be. And I bet you the women that are advising her, if she's over 25, probably paying at home themselves is paying half the damn bills, or most all of the bills. I too, and I said it on the Big Jack show. Sharpening Iron.
Yeah. Look, and Walt is up there, and Walt is speaking his mind, and then again, I have a whole panel of men. No, again, I have a whole panel, so I know and I believe everyone on the stage is married, so everyone know why they did what they did, and how long it took them to get there. It didn't take me long, so when you made that comment, I don't take me a year. I don't think you have to test drive your wife to see if you want to, marry your wife. You know that. After the first date, I knew, I really did. I'm like, yeah, this is
same.
It doesn't take long for me, but that's me.
Did he say test drive?
Yeah, but that's what I look at it. Like,
that was his words. That was his words. Though.
But I'm just saying, that's how I look at it. Like, what are you doing?
Easy. Pineapples, man. Pineapples.
Statute of limitations still in effect.
That's my thing. What are you wasting all this time for? Like, you gotta, I don't know. It didn't feel right on the highway. Like, what do you mean? This, if you know, when you out there, it's like, this is the one. You already know. Now they might not want you, but you already know you want them.
Yeah.
So
hey, man, like I said, that's true. Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest. I mean, we, my wife and I talk about this a lot. And Jack and Doug, they both know my wife. We've never been single, like in our entire adult life. Like we started dating in high school, got married a couple years after high school. I don't know how the kids do it nowadays. Like this, all these apps they have, and I just couldn't do it. She can't leave me because I would not be able to survive, because I have no idea how to move forward without her in my life. So,
yeah. So everybody, how many years you got in your marriage journey? How many years you got? I got 19.
I'm sitting on 29.
29.
25.
24.
You're children. You're all children.
Yeah, you've been married since junior high school. Well, you sitting on 40, man.
Like 40 years, right?
36 or something like that. What do you got?
Wait, what am I at? Like 34?
34? Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I've been married twice, so can we use the combined?
Yeah. Okay. Man, 34 years, man. I know a guy that did less time for murder.
Yeah, but for combined, I'm in that neighborhood. I got married when I was 23. Yeah, 23 years old, and I've been married all but 1 year now to 55. So yeah, put a lot of time in.
No, but to your point and to your question, real talk, whatever the two of them agree upon, that's what their agreement is, and that's what. But what I'm saying from as a man talking to a younger man, probably. You have to understand your value in this relationship too. Yeah. You understand? Because, whatever she looks like to you, whatever she provides now, trust me, bro, it ain't going to last. She's going to get older. Father Time catches us all. You understand? So whatever you sign up for, whatever you are willing to sustain, you need to make sure that you are coming in on your own free will and accord. Because whatever you think you are compromising to get, it's not just going to change because you get married. It's going to get worse. No. I do not negotiate with terrorists. And that's the act of terror, man.
Nowhere in the letter did it say marry. So he didn't say getting married. He
No,
said
but that's my point. So why are we even having this discussion? If you don't, okay, so then maybe we need to sit him down, because why would you even entertain a question with a woman that you're not considering marrying? That question with a woman. And I'm reading a lot into it, but why would you even consider that conversation?
See, and now that y'all been talking, I'm looking at it in a different light, because a lot of times I've noticed, and even hear and see, women will use this one as a way to motivate you as a man to step your game up. So you need to provide. You need to be the provider. So what you're bringing in, so we both are working, but they didn't say we both were equally working the same, like we're both bringing in 6 figures. So if you got a person that's working, I work every day, but you're working at, and not limiting any fast food restaurant or whatever, but you're working fast food, where this person is making, corporate decisions. Yes, you both are working, but the number is not equal. So I will use that right there. You need to be providing as a way to motivate you to get past where you are. Like, because as long as everything's paid and I'm happy, and we even talked about that earlier, I'm good. I don't have to, I'm good with McDonald's every day. I don't need to go out there and get nothing better. I don't have to push myself to be the manager. I'm good at the fries. I'm straight at the fries. I'm good. Yeah, I don't want anything past the fries. And I don't want the responsibility of having to reprimand anybody or this and that. So, but I need you, man, to step your game up and be a provider, because yes, you work every day, but are you providing? And that's so that's
so if we have an honest conversation, so let's say the quiet part out loud. 5 of us here, unmarried, let's say unmarried, all single men, and we say we met a woman that piqued our interest. The first thing we will ask is what? Come on, man.
I'm not falling for that one. No.
Oh my God,
I can't have her. She'll come busting through this door. Walt, you don't understand. It's a delicate game we play.
So I'll say it. So as single men, because long time ago, and this doesn't apply to us, right? We're all married, happily married men, right? All right. So what I'm saying is, most men will say, how does she look? What does she look like? Most women will ask their girlfriends, what does he do for a living? Right or wrong? And that kind of sets the tone right there. And it seems like a very innocuous thing, but I'm telling you, that sets the tone. Yeah, girl, what does he do for a living? And that's, because a man, let's be clear about this, a man making X amount of dollars, substantially more than a woman, he will marry that woman if she brings him peace, if she shows him respect. He will marry him without a doubt. Marry her, he will marry her without a doubt. Without a doubt. Not even, because if she brings him those things that men require, he would do that. But for women, the average, I'm not going to say average, a lot of women, their first choice is to not marry a man that makes less money than them. And you can say what you want to say after that. And I mean, Walt Talks. I said it. I said what I said. And if we have an honest conversation, that's my experience. So, have at it. And I'm not saying that in a demeaning way, but that's just how we have been conditioned culturally as men and women. That's as American as the American dream. You know what I mean?
No, and look, I didn't take that anyone.
Right.
I'm not the guy in this letter. So
no. I'm saying that because other people are listening. I know somebody right now is throwing a brick at their television. I know that at the screen. I know that for a fact. But if we have an honest conversation, that's the conversation.
A man trying to find balance is hopefully listening to this show, and he's going to listen to this show, and he's going to hear what you had to say, and it is something to question yourself. We're throwing out different things. We're just trying to see what sticks for you, because you sent it better. And like you say, and I think you hit all the different areas. What are your plans? What are you doing? 3 years in, I mean, you behind the 8 ball. You way behind the 50 years in this game. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Did it take each one of us 3 years to say, hey, let's do this thing, or let's walk down the aisle? it didn't take me that long twice. It didn't take me 3 years. I could combine my times and it didn't take me 3 years. So it's just a fact that it just don't take that long in my mind, but that sometimes we, at the same time, with all that being said, that's where he's at. And now finances become, because then that's one of the biggest separators in a relationship.
The biggest.
Finances. So
money's
now
bigger than sex. Money's bigger than sex.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, money's bigger than sex. Yeah, for sure.
So
I think at the end of the day, this person should appreciate the fact that his partner brought this question up and take the opportunity to think of the other aspects of their relationship that he might have just made assumptions on and said, oh, well, this is obviously how we're going to live because, this is just how I imagine it. Take this opportunity and really start to evaluate your relationship and what your expectations are in the relationship and start having those honest conversations. I mean, regardless of what you take away from this one topic and our feedback on it, there's got to be other things. Like if you're 3 years in and this is just now coming up, there's other things that you've just taken for granted as an understanding that might not just be that understanding anymore. So thank her for the question, give her an answer, and then hit her with a few.
Looking at McDonald's.
Brandon.
That's what I said. Yeah, Brandon. That's what I said. Hey, Brandon, we're in agreement on that, Brandon. I mean, that's the deal. I mean, that's the thing. And I tell you something else, man. And then I know you got to get to another question, Jack. To me, and this is just me, man, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that conversation did not come up in the just, hey, it's Monday, it's Wednesday, what's today, Sunday evening conversation. That came up under what are we doing conversation. Because let's be clear about this, and let's be clear. The most, when I say dangerous, I'm not saying in a bad way, but a woman between the ages of 21 and 30 is not a woman to be taken lightly. She has plans. She has a clock. She has plans. She has ideas since she was a kid on how this thing should how her life should go. And she's not going to waste time if she's, most women are not going to waste time with a man who has no vision, no purpose, no direction. Doesn't mean that every man that she sees she has to marry, but she's going to put this guy in his appropriate lane while she's looking. And where his feelings are going to get hurt can get hurt because we think that things are going smoothly. Hey man, a man that loses a woman that he loves, he doesn't get over her as quickly as a woman gets over a man that she loves, because all she has to do is find a man to do the things that he didn't do, and she's pretty much on her way. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies. Please comment on that. So that's what I see. That's my experience. How about that?
Well, gentlemen, I think we beat that one up.
Yeah, we beat it up.
That was good. Good stuff. And I thank y'all. So hopefully a man trying to find balance, you got your answer from us. That these are men who have been in your shoes at one time in their life, meaning we were dating before we got married. We just
all been there.
I think Eric,
except for Eric,
got married by the principal of the high school. Like
between fifth and sixth period.
The only one, but
no, they Oprah Winfrey said, and they still together. That's right. Good stuff, man. Congratulations! I salute you for that, sir.
So 100% with that. So but I think we did a good job on. I know we did. We did a good job where we talked straight talk. So here's another one. So this is a Gentleman's Journal. Growing up, I was always told men don't cry and to tough it out. Now that I'm older, I realize that mindset has made it hard for me to express how I really feel. Even to my wife, she says I shut down emotionally, but honestly, I don't even know where to start opening up. How do you, as men, break down these emotional walls and learn to communicate without feeling weak? Respectfully, the silent husband.
Well, I am definitely an individual that will wear my emotions on my sleeve. People
Okay.
don't really believe it. I'm this bigger guy and everything like that. Every single week, I will talk to people that are unemployed and going through all these things. And I will use my own personal life lessons to try to empower, uplift it, whatever it is, to say, don't be like me. Don't make the same mistakes. If you have questions, if you need some answers, talk to people, whatever it is. When I talk about my family, I talk about my daughter and my son and how they've, all of a sudden have these great lives and are going on their own paths and stuff like that. Sometimes I get choked up. And maybe that's just over the years I've learned that I can be that way, and people are accepting of it. They don't I don't think they think any less of me, but it hurts you for your own self-care to keep that kind of stuff in. You don't want to have all of a sudden one day just be a volcano and explode or something like that. So as I've gotten older, I've gotten much better at being able to share the things that I'm feeling, and be able to know when I can talk to people to share different things. So it's definitely a live and learn type thing that, you have to get it out and talk to people and confide whatever is necessary. So that way you can do what you need to do to be able to help yourself and help other people.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Anybody else, gentlemen? It was.
I don't think it's healthy. I just don't think it's healthy. I mean, the average serial killer pretty much has that same story, right? He couldn't express their emotions as a kid, and they turn out being a serial killer. I'm not saying all guys who don't express their emotions end up being serial killers, but I'm saying most serial killers did not get to express their emotions. But if you're married to someone, that's not the time, and I guess it's too late to find out that you can't express yourself, right? Because trust me, that's not something that he just started experiencing. That's who he is and has been for his whole life, right? The problem is, and when I say the challenge is, hey man, you have direct control over that. Because what you perceive as good or bad is how you see it. Not necessarily you make it good or bad, right? We suffer more in our imagination. We make things good or bad. I mean, sometimes, man, when somebody tells you these things or does these things or makes you feel a certain way, that's just information. And running from that feeling is what causes the dilemma. If you just address that feeling and question yourself and ask yourself why you are experiencing these emotions from this thing, you can probably get to the other side of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, man, when you don't address your emotions, that's what it is. I mean, it's not that you have to walk around not caring, but sometimes you just got to detach yourself from the BS. But some of the things that he probably thinks that really affect him probably don't even really affect him, because guess what? We've been through 100%. We've come to the other side of 100% of what we've gone through in our lives, right? Because here we are. So I mean, you can get through it because here we are. We've been through everything you've been through. You're here. You're on the other side of it right now. So I just think once you have an honest conversation with yourself, become self-aware with yourself, and don't give a damn what people think about how you feel, or realize nobody really cares because they're trying to fix themselves, and sometimes they just want you to feel bad so they can feel better. Once you get to the other side of that, I just think, man, it all works itself out. That's just my opinion.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's your emotions and somebody's perception of your emotions that they telling you men don't supposed to cry. But you have an emotion, which is energy in motion, is telling you something is going on inside of you. You got to release that energy. If you don't release that energy by crying, you're going to release that energy by something else.
You got to address it. If you address it, you can address it. You got to address it.
So when you get in those, what do you call it? You get those, when people tell you, oh, men don't supposed to cry. Men don't supposed to do this. Men don't supposed to do that. That's their experience. But as you experiencing those challenges in your life, or, you got hurt, or the emotions come up and you don't cry, I'm going to cry. I go to church. I cry. Stuff happened to me. I cry. Somebody passed away. I cry. But somebody say, oh, men don't supposed to cry. You're going to keep that in your mind. When the emotion come up, you're going to be like, I ain't going to cry. And all of that's going to build up inside of you. It's going to come out in one way or another. it's going to hurt you more to keep it in until you release it. And if you release it another way, instead of crying, you might release it in anger. So I'm
let
just
me ask
saying,
you. So if a guy weighs 600 pounds,
Mhm.
are you taking fitness advice from this guy? I mean, you might say, hey, man, you need to get out and work out and exercise. But if he tells you, you can eat 20 McDonald's hamburgers a day, no disrespect to anybody that's 600 pounds, you can eat 20 hamburgers a day and keep your physique, would you listen to that guy?
if he was 800 pounds and he's like 600 pounds now, maybe.
No, okay, but what I'm saying is, why do we question what we know to be true because it's uncomfortable sometimes, but then we're willing to take advice from people. Men aren't supposed to cry. And you have who may be emotionally bankrupt,
Because
who may
what
be a
we
crier himself, who may just be projecting his own fears on you. So why do we take
because
the time to listen to these people?
because the perception we see of that person saying, oh, he's good in this area, he's good in that area, and he's telling me not to cry, but he's a crier. But he's telling me not to cry, but he's a crier. He ain't telling me he's crying, but he's telling me don't cry. Because
And that's
he may be bankrupt in that area.
my point. Why do we listen? You see what I mean? Because the average person, man, is trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, like a guy said, man, I don't cry. Hey, Slim, stay away from me, please, because you are a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
You are a dangerous person. Man, a person who does not show empathy is a dangerous person to me. I stay away from people like that because I've seen firsthand what happens when people get murdered, maimed, and killed, and murdered, maimed, and dismembered. I've seen it firsthand. So all I'm saying to you is, hey, man, if you want to cry. I mean, who says you're not supposed to cry? They say.
Sure.
Who the hell are they?
Who are they?
I mean, think about it. He's saying this. He's getting information from a person that he probably is not following information himself. Jack, I say this all the time when we golf. And what I say, I give the best information to my friends because I don't use it for myself. Hey, man,
Right.
keep your head down and keep your arms straight. And that's what's happening, man.
Yeah.
And once you give yourself permission to be like, the hell with what they think, this is how I feel, I need to address this. And I'm not saying run from your emotions. I'm saying don't be ruled by your emotions. And you'd be surprised what happens for you.
But that's it. This keynote right here, and it says, even to my wife, she says I shut down emotionally. So, but honestly, I don't even know where to start opening up. So,
but does she give him a safe place?
Yeah, just talk.
Again, yeah.
Just talk. Because all right, we got to get out of our mind. Some people, some men, the mindset. I got to be strong. I can't express myself fully. Yes, you can, but you're afraid that if you express yourself fully, your wife or your partner might say, "Oh, you're a punk. Oh, men don't cry. Oh, men don't do this. Men don't do that."
But that's the toughest guy.
Yeah, but that's the toughest guy because he can express himself.
That's
and
the
you can say
toughest
what's
guy.
on your mind, and you can say and express it in a way that the person that you love can understand. It doesn't matter what they say because they are over there. We are over here. We are one. But they are telling me what I should do instead of me being with the one that I love. I'm expressing myself with the one that I love. So don't let nobody over there or them tell you how to express yourself to the person you love.
You taking advice from a person who's not even in the position that you are in. How ridiculous is that? Exactly. And Jack, how many times you hear me say, "Hey, man, it takes a strong man to be that soft." You know what I mean? Because, and it's kind of like a joke, but it's the truth. Because, hey, man, if you think about it, man, the world knows that you are not that thing that you are projecting to be. So why not just be who you are?
I can tell you a story. I'm sorry.
Talk to me. Mm-hmm.
No, I saw it when I was in high school. It's a long time ago. One of the toughest guys in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, blah, blah, blah." We know he can fight. He can box. I mean, if you look at him, you were like, "Man, I don't want to meet him in the alley because I know that's how tough he looked."
Mm-hmm.
But one of my teachers, she had a how you call it, physically challenged daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She had Down syndrome, and she came in the classroom with the teacher, and talking to her mother, blah, 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 blah. And the dude came in, right? And he saw her. He started playing. He got on the ground, started playing with her. And he was smiling and laughing and joking, showing like not kindness, because we all love the teacher. Her name's Deborah Isaac. We all love the teacher. And he got on the ground talking to her, playing with her. And I was looking, and that stayed with me. The toughest guy you don't want to deal with. He got on the ground and started playing, showing his soft side, showing his heart, just dealing with her daughter. And I'm saying that to say this: you got soft parts in your heart that you can express yourself and still be the person that you are. And the people perceive you don't have a heart, you're going to beat somebody up. No, I have a heart.
You said perceive. You said perceive. Yeah. That's my point. That's my point. That guy, he hasn't had to have a fight because everybody respects him it's back to Machiavelli. Would you better be loved or feared, right? So most of the toughest guys I know are some of the most respectful, kindest gentlemen that I've ever come across, because they don't have to put on airs. They don't have to project BS. You know what I mean? It's okay not to be okay. But when hey man, the lion is the king of the jungle. He don't go around just messing around with the gazelle just to show the gazelle who he is. He just, when it's time to eat, just know we got action. You know what I mean? So I just think, man, that as men, if we just get to the other side of why am I feeling this way? Yeah. And do I really care what people think about me? Because, man, I've been on this show. I mean, tell you what, we've had 3 guests in the last 2 months, man, and I've shed a tear. When Zach Tidwell was telling me his story, bro, I'm like, I'm over here wiping my eyes. You can check the video. I've had a few, and people tell their stories because I'm sitting there thinking like, wow. You know, you sitting there thinking. So all I'm saying, man, to this young person, talk to your wife. If it's not a safe place to talk to your wife, that's your real problem. It's not that men are supposed to cry. Your cry is your real, in my opinion, my humble opinion, nobody asked for, is if you can't talk to the woman that you are married to, if you feel like she's going to weaponize that, that's a problem. If she's there for you, then you need to open yourself up and trust that. And if you are sleeping with a person, married to a person that you don't feel that you can talk to, I can't tell you what to do, but why are you, man, that's your real issue. This other stuff is just window dressing. Your real issue is, man, you're talking about building a life with somebody that you can't talk to. That's got to be a terrible thing. And I'm talking about both sides of the corner, woman or man.
I got you.
So
Eric, he's silent down there. I don't want to. It's not your topic. You like?
No. I mean, I'm listening. I'm listening to everybody. I mean, I got so much I want to say. I think I'm stuck in the bush. No, I'm not gonna do that. But kind of. I mean, I'm kind of feeling what Walt said, what Doug said. First thing, I mean, you're on this earth. For as long as you feel like you're on this earth, it's not really that long, but you should not spend that time trying to press down this emotion you have. I've seen, very people leave this earth, and I've been fortunate enough to help bring people into this earth. And if those 2 events happen in your life and you don't shed a tear, you really need to be talking to somebody, because there's probably something bigger wrong. But
it's not healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, like Walt said, you have to. This is why our relationships with our wives and our husbands and all that is a different relationship than we have with like the general public, right? Because we're supposed to be able to be open and honest and let that. It's that one area where we should be able to release anything that is pinned up inside of us that we feel like we have to get out. And we all feel that way, So yeah, I mean, you shouldn't, if you're honest to goodness, not feeling like you've ever been put into a state where you wanted to shed a tear, straight up, I mean, you really should talk to somebody, because it's probably a bigger problem. But if you are, and you feel like you don't have people around you who you can open up to, you should start to build that circle, because, and it doesn't have to be somebody you have a relationship with, like a husband or wife. It could be a good friend or something like that, but you need it. I mean, we're here for too long. We have to face too much in the time that we're here. Sometimes it's even our own mortality that we have to come to grips with. So if you don't have the tools in place to be able to work through those emotions, they don't get better. They don't go away. It just gets worse. So find that structure you need. Find those people that you can reach out to, who won't judge you, who will walk you through this stuff. And sometimes it's not even like you're not even looking for advice. You just need somebody that you can unload on, and let them help you carry these burdens, because it's easier that way.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry. From a personal experience, the moment I did that, and it's been a while, but the moment you take self-assessment is the moment you really understand who's in your corner and who's not. 100%. And sometimes that's the hurtful thing that we go through, because we are afraid, we don't manage our expectations, because we expect things from people they cannot deliver. And once I got past that, I mean, it's been a while, but once I got past that and realized that a friend is not every friend, or every associate you have does not always fill every void that you have. You got to put people where they belong. Once I figured that out and realized that no one was coming to save me, man, I'm not gonna say I'm fine, because people say I'm batshit crazy, excuse my expression, but that's what it is. Once you figure it, because once you had that hard conversation with yourself, and when something bothers you, something affects you, instead of saying, I wish this didn't affect me, all I want to know is, why does this affect me this way? Because that forces me to look at myself. And sometimes I don't like the answer. But you forced to look at yourself. And once you do that, once you realize, man, that it all comes from within. We all live alone. Even if you're married, we all live alone. Your spouse can't help you if you're not honest enough with her to have that conversation. And that's just what it is. Right. And I'm telling you, man, once I got past that, it's like it all made sense. And thank God I figured that out a long time ago. But sometimes I catch a lot of flack. What, man, you just don't give a damn. I'm like, no, that's not it. I do. I really do. But I have to check myself. And once I check myself, I'm like, why does this affect me this way? I don't even know this guy. Yeah. Why does this affect me this way? And I really look at myself. What is it about me that makes me feel this way about this person doing this thing? And I had that conversation, always get my answers. I'm like, okay, sometimes you just need to check yourself.
Yeah.
So
I had a situation, and we're gonna move to the next question. I had a situation. So my grandmother had passed. I'm like the person who officiates all family funerals. So I do all this. So that was my profession and this and that. So my grandmother had passed, and they were going to get someone else to officiate her funeral. And it bothered me, because I'm like, I've done all of them. Why I'm not doing this one? And the comment was, because if you break down, we're all going to break down. So it made it tougher to officiate, because now I'm holding back, because now the standard or the expectation is that we need you to be strong to deliver this message, so that we don't break down while we're receiving the message, even though it's okay to cry, it's okay to break down.
So it's not okay to break down?
No, I don't know, but that was the message. That was the
logic.
So in my mind, as I'm up there, I'm more like, and like I say, you're delivering the word. I look at it totally different, because I look at, death as part of the life cycle, that we're all going to get there. So I don't see it like a lot of people. But it wasn't until they put the casket in the hearse to take it to the funeral, to the actual cemetery. So when the casket went in the hearse is when the tears started flowing, because it was at that moment that I realized I will never see that person again. Not the physical person, The physical
Right.
person I will never see again, because this is it. That's sliding in. They don't open it again when they get to the funeral or the cemetery. Everything that is closed. It is sealed. It's gone, and that's when the tears were flowing down my face and this and that. So it was tough to stand and try to stand strong for everybody at that moment, so that we could get through the service, so you can deliver the message, so you can all, because her children, my grandmothers, my aunts, my mom, my uncle, but they love their mom, so
Right.
to be able to deliver that message. But at the same time, it was like someone else could have delivered that message and we could have sat there, because like you said, well, I don't even really know this person now. It wouldn't affect a lot of people because I don't know them, so it doesn't bother me, and they would have went right on through that service, even though they've had their times to mourn. But to have someone who, if I watch dad cry, if I watch mom cry, then that makes me cry, because I don't want to see them cry, and it's just a domino effect in that area. But so a lot of times we, I don't, my kids don't need to know that we're struggling. My they don't need to know that, I don't even know how we're going to, keep the roof over their head, but they don't need, and they don't know. And sometimes you cry in silence, you cry in your corner.
Absolutely. We all do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So, and that's where I think he was saying, and I'm trying to read between the lines on it. I just don't know when or how. And a lot of times it's because we were told you're not supposed to, and you think I got to be strong the whole time. But no, there's a time that you need to go to your quiet, no different than prayer. I don't have to stand in front of my family and pray. I go pray on my own, because it's like, I need some help right here. I need some help as, touching and agreeing with my wife and touching and agreeing with my kids and even anywhere else. But I need some help. I need help getting through this situation. And that's where, we are. So go ahead, Walt. I see it.
Am I the only man? So am I the only man on this panel out of 5 that has cried in the shower?
No.
I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
But think about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, because you can't, here's the thing, man. You can't always act on your emotions. That's dangerous. That can be detrimental to your health. The prison, the cemetery is off. The prisons and cemeteries are full of people who have acted on their emotions in the moment, at the moment, right? I mean, and we all have done it. We have all done it. We have all done it. Even as a younger kid, you punched the wall, you did this, you did that, you did that. Whatever the case is, we've all been there. All I'm saying to you is sometimes you just got to take a breath, man. And sometimes you might cry out of frustration. Sometimes you might cry out of anger. I mean, like sometimes you're talking to somebody and, you want to strangle them so bad your hands are shaking. And I know I'm not the only one that's been there looking at this panel. I know I'm not the only one that's been there. So you can say what you want to say. But all I'm saying is, man, you have to address your emotions. And if your emotions telling you to do something, you have to react sometimes. You have to respond instead of reacting sometimes. And sometimes, man, that frustration, that moment of frustration will take you out. And Jack, you might go to the closet, and pray on it. You might do whatever. You might be in the shower crying. You might whatever. But understand that it's not healthy. It's just not healthy. Matter of fact, the difference between men and women got a whole show about it called Snapped. That's the difference. That whole show is about women who have bottled up their emotions and one day woke up and the guy left the salt shaker on the table and he got his brains blown out. And that's because it's not healthy. There's a whole show about women who get to that point and just had enough. And here's the thing, man, let's be clear about this. And we being honest, long before you've had enough, by the time you had enough and go on the other side and go show enough berserk, you're more pissed off with yourself for not dealing with it sooner than what's really bothering you at the moment.
That's true.
And by the time your woman comes home and kills you over leaving the toilet seat up, trust me, bro, 3 months ago, 3 years ago, the issue was already there that wasn't discussed that you didn't address.
No,
So
and
if you're
that's
being honest,
those are
yeah.
very good points. And again, I know what he said was better about shutting down or emotionally shutting down. So that can be very, it can cause more problems than just letting a tear roll out your eye. So Walt, just throwing out there because Aqua Funk's in the chat and he made a comment. How can you tell if you're crying in the shower?
You know when you're crying, man.
That's Aqua Funk.
That's Aqua Funk, my man. Hey, Aqua Funk, you know when you're crying, bro. You know when you're crying.
How can you tell in the shower?
Yeah.
So water running down your face. I can't tell if I'm crying.
My man, you know when you're crying. You know when you're crying.
I cry in the shower when they turn the water on too hot, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm burning.
Yeah, Smokey Robinson wrote a whole song about it. Jack, you a Motown guy. Tracks in my tears.
Tears of a clown.
Tears of a clown.
Yeah.
When nobody's around, those tears. Like I make people. You always see a smile on my face when I'm in you, but when the lights are off and you go behind the scenes and you got to shed that tear. You got to let it out because it is.
They're looking for you for strength. I get that. You got to respect that, but understand, man. At some point, bro, it is not healthy. Maybe I just see life different now because I'm older. But when I was younger, I got it. I may have done different things and said some things and But man, are you kidding me? Because here's the thing, bro. Everything to me right now, every decision I make in life comes down to this. Even being on this show with you, Big Jack. If I'm laying on my deathbed and this is the last thing I'm doing, am I gonna be pissed off that I did this as my last thing that I'm doing? So if I make a conscious decision to do something, that's what I'm going to do. But I don't want to wake up and be like, yeah, man, I don't believe man.
But look, this thing is taught. I mean, it's not something that you just figured out on your own. It's taught. Because I do, and I found myself doing it. And that's why, now that we're talking about it and don't want to keep prolonging it. But kids playing in a football game, they lose the game, basketball game or whatever, and they lose the game. And you see players crying.
My grandson today.
And you tell him, what are you crying for? Da-da-da. But that's taught that it's wrong to even have emotions about losing a game or whatever. It's just a game. But not to them. Because they're the ones out there on that field that's playing. And maybe it is just a game, but it was a tight game. And to lose by 1 point at the last second and this and that, there's some emotions attached to that. And we have conditioned even, some coaches, some parents telling their sons and daughters or whatever that, especially sons, that, don't cry, don't let them see you crying. Like, what difference would it make if they see me doing it? Or if I do it in the car, because the fact is, at this moment, I'm hurt. I'm hurt from whatever just happened. And even if you think it's simple to you, it wasn't simple to me. And that's where we sometimes miss with that motivational speech we give our kids, especially as coaches, that it's wrong or you shouldn't cry. So, I mean, I went to a high school, and we would say, and Doug and them there.
Went to the high school, right?
We didn't win enough games to be emotionally attached to winning. So
it depended what sport we were playing.
Doug said baseball, he was fine. Doug said baseball, he was fine.
It's funny because I never, obviously, I don't, Anthony and Walt, I don't know you guys that well, but I know Doug, myself, and Big Jack there. We played a lot of sports growing up. And I remember that, like, why get, you can't get emotional out of it. I remember thinking as a kid, it's like, it's not a single game. It's an investment I've had, for years now of trying to get better at this game, trying to, be part of teams that are better at this game. It's like, if you lose all your money that you've spent so much time building up, you get emotional about it. This is like that, it's an investment to us when we're doing it. And it's not only sports, it's whenever your kid or yourself, you're working above and beyond what a normal person would do to achieve something, whether it's school, whether it's sports, whatever it is. And you don't live up to the expectation that you've set for yourself. It's an emotional thing. So, I never understood that. I always felt like, I would question, the players on my team who aren't upset that we lost the championship.
You can be upset. Whoa. But it's part of that because you may or may not have done the best you could do.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff you always, go back and reevaluate. Like, had I not swung at that pitch, or had I, played this ball differently, or something like that. There's always that aspect of it as well.
But if you go to that, and say, then do you go as far as probably should have practiced harder on that? Because
that's a given. I always do that.
That's my point. So I drove a limo for 15 years. Back to your point, Big Jack. 15 years part-time, I drove a limo. I've done hundreds of funerals, because most limo drivers, most limousine companies, that's where they make their money, on funerals during the middle of the week, right? Picked up hundreds of families. The people who usually are diving in the casket, take me, God, why her, take me, are usually the people that didn't do what they were supposed to do while that person was living. I'm not saying people don't cry. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying over the top. Saying over the top. Take me, Lord, why her? Hey, look, the person who has wiped this person's behind for the last 3 years and changed their depends and fed them and watched them deteriorate to nothing, while they may cry, they understand there's a certain amount of peace with them because they have done all that they were supposed to do. I watched my mother and my father die. I'm talking about take their last breaths. So I'm fine with it because I understand that the leading cause of death is birth. The moment we are born, we are out of here. We are scheduled to get out of here. So to me, if you have a conversation with yourself and say, what could I have done differently to change this? It doesn't really affect me as much. What I'm saying, my hardest time is when I know I'm sitting there BSing myself, Jack, knowing that I didn't go to the driving range, practice as hard as I should have, practice my chipping and putting, and then I show up expecting it to happen. I ain't saying I'm crying over you cry over losing the golf tournament, but if you really have a conversation with yourself, even down to a situation in a relationship, hey man, you had a choice. Unless somebody's sitting there with a 45 caliber pistol to your head, you had a choice. And if you really come down to it, say, you know what? Had I done this, had I thought this through, I probably wouldn't even been in this position. So I can't blame somebody else for what happened to me when I know I didn't do, if I'm being honest with myself and know I didn't do what I'm supposed to do. Now, sometimes, man, it just hits you because your emotions are what they are. I get it. But I'm just saying, man, it's like we are buying into this in this world that we are in right now. And we're going to leave politics out of it, Jack. I know it's the Big Jack show. We are raising a generation of kids that feel emotionless because they don't get to see their friends at the baseball practice crying. They don't get to see their friends upset. It's all online. So this cyberbullying thing is crazy. It's not even real because the people that you get bullied by on the internet, they see you in your face and they asking you for a damn autograph or something. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy, man. I mean, the world is upside down, bro. So back to being old fashioned, you got to go back to those standards, man. We know right from wrong. And I just think, man, sometimes, man, we just cop out and just allow the BS to control us. And I just think it's wrong, man. That's just my thing. I just think it's wrong. I mean, I know I'm screwed up. I know I'm by myself on that, but I just think it's wrong. Because if you're being honest with yourself, we all have a choice in what we do. And sometimes, man, look, we wake up every morning, people don't play fair, the world ain't gonna treat you right, you're gonna deal with idiots, somebody's gonna cut you off in traffic, somebody's gonna tell you something you don't like, somebody's gonna do something to you that you don't like. When you wake up knowing that, what else can affect you? I mean, it can affect you, but I mean, what's taking you by surprise? What's taking you really by surprise? Somebody cut you off in traffic, really? After you just cut somebody off in traffic? Now you pissed off somebody cut you off in traffic? You really upset about that?
Yeah.
You really going to jail on that? That's what you standing on? That's the hill you dying on? Are you out your damn mind?
It was
So
like
that's my conversation to myself.
it's like playing the dozens when you were in school or joning on each other. Like,
Oh man,
we already had these jokes already in your mind. Don't get mad
oh
because
yeah,
you came with a good one that got you, and now you want to fight.
yeah.
Don't fight now.
Hey,
We
I
were
done
just.
talked about your mother. As soon as I see her, I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna be the first one to help her carry groceries in. Yeah,
I didn't know you. I didn't know your mom was like that. I didn't know. I really didn't. I was just throwing a joke out
yeah.
there.
But you know, sometimes when we get pissed off and when we get upset, and I'm only speaking for myself, when something hits the hardest is when it's true, and I haven't done it, and I haven't done anything about it. That's when it hits the hardest. That's when it hits the hardest.
No,
You know,
and that's what I was saying.
that's
So
when it hits the hardest.
and you know you're true. So
Yeah.
and Eric made a comment about and just throwing it, because you made when you don't live up to your expectations, it hurts. But sometimes you cry when you outdone yourself and live past your expectation. When graduating high school, graduating college, things that you didn't see yourself doing. Going to Bladensburg High School, living on Quincy Street in high school, to walk across the stage and say I got a diploma. I didn't see that. I didn't see that when I was in 7th grade. I didn't see that when I was in 8th grade. So, now did I shed a tear or whatever? But I was really, really happy for myself.
Hey, bro.
And and it's like, yes, because I didn't see that in my future. I didn't see that in my life. And so that was huge. So, not even shedding. That's why it's good to have the men on the panel. We're not even going to get to the other. We're already 1 hour and 16 minutes into this thing.
Man, we got 10 minutes. Man, we got 10 minutes. We'll wrap it up. We got 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes.
I already see how you added the other two, so we'll come back. But,
your name is on it. Your name is on the billboard, Big Jack. So
so who gonna? Hey, Jack. So hold on, Jack. Here we go again. Who is gonna stop you?
Nobody gonna stop me.
What's the next question?
One, the big thing is I don't want to take up your time because I understand your time as well. But this was a good one, so I want to throw this out there, and I think I know I lived in that world, so I'm gonna throw it out there, and we can wrap this up. We got a couple of minutes left. Eric, if you're good, I know Eric's on California time. Dougie down in the Georgia area. My times, the top three, we're all in the same time zone. We're in the same neighborhood, so. So number 3, so we're gonna leave silent husband alone. We beat up the crying. He's crying over in the corner now. We good? Okay, all right. So my father wasn't around much when I was growing up. And now that I'm a father myself, I'm trying to do everything differently. But sometimes I feel resentment creeping in. Like I'm still angry at him for not being there. It's how I show up for my own kids. What advice would you give to a man trying to forgive his father while becoming a better one himself? And that's signed Learning Father.
I mean, I think he's already on a good foot where he's using that resentment as motivation to be a better person. Because you can't the things you can't control, you can't let them tear you down, right? And that, unfortunately, your dad not being there is not something that was in your control. But what you can do is make sure you're there for your kids. Make sure you're a better person. And that's what I tell my kids all the time. It's like, I'm just trying to be, and keep in mind, I feel like my dad set the bar pretty high. And I'm just trying to be a little bit of a better father than my father was to us. Not that he was a bad father. He was a great dad. He did a lot. And, he showed me, why it's important to care about people outside your family. I mean, he was very involved with, sports and stuff like that. And I used to think like we talked about it before the show, my dad built this pitcher's net because our high school didn't have the money for it. And he did that because, it meant a lot to him. And I just try to, be better, and be better. So I think that the fact that he understands the shortcomings of his father and he's trying to make sure he doesn't make the same mistakes, you're already in the right spot, man. Just don't let the things that you can't control break you down and just keep moving forward. You're doing good, man. You're doing good. Don't let it bother you.
That's good stuff.
So with me, it's a little bit different. So everyone knows the man that raised me wasn't my dad, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, my mom was pretty much abandoned. As soon as she found out she was pregnant, he was shipped off to another state somewhere, and then having to be raised by a single mom for a long time. The troubles that she had to go through and not really having a home and going from family to family as best we could. It wasn't until my dad came into my life that I didn't even remember life before that. I didn't even remember anything before I was 5 years old. So he raised me as his own, and everything was great. Fast forward to about 15 years ago, I'm actually in this class, and it's about your core gift, and it's about how we can better support ourselves to be able to support other people out in the community or whatever it may be, your family members, whatever it is. And you're in this deep session where someone's right in your face, asking you all these questions, rapid response. And they ask this question: if you could invite anyone to dinner, who would it be and why? And I'm like, this is going to get emotional. And there's 15, 20, 30 people watching. Most people will say like Muhammad Ali or Gandhi or Abraham Lincoln or John F. Kennedy, whatever it is. And I would say, I invite my biological father.
That's the moment.
And then the big thing, why? Man, I was like, got emotional. And I tell him I forgive him. Right. Once I did that, and that was something I never even, if you would ask my wife or any of these other things, who would I have said, or the reason to say I forgive him, it felt like this huge weight came off my shoulders, that either I was just being this stoic type person and it wasn't something that bothered me, but I know how much it bothered my mom for all those years. And even my dad who raised me, obviously him, because people would always say, well, how come you're so short and Doug is so tall? And he's like, well, it took two of us to make him, even though he knew it wasn't.
I like that guy.
But those are the things that they had to endure also. It's almost like I kept it trapped inside of me. But once I was able to say that and say it with some confidence, it seems like my life from there was so much better. And then I realized, the little things that we do make a huge impact with our children, or even as being examples to other people around. So that's just something I just wanted to share.
No, that's powerful. I mean, really, it's I don't think any of us I was never faced with that question, but that's definitely good. I see the top row. There was a question, and we got a person out there. A learning father is asking the question about, being better for his kids than his father was to him, who was really missing. He wasn't there growing up. So, any advice for him?
It's I got a story too. I met my father when I was 10. Didn't know him. And it was like a love-hate relationship. I loved to hate him because he was putting discipline in my life at the time. So fast forward, discipline and everything. Can't do this, can't do that. You got to be strict. I was, bitter, hating, and all that. Came home from school one day, and he was on the ground. He was a boxer, big like me. He had a massive heart attack. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. Chest compressions, all this other stuff. So he died in my arms. I'm doing fast forward because I know we got that much time. He died in my arms, so in his eyes and the whole night. Died in my arms. I was bitter at him, and I carried that for like maybe 6 years. Why he dying on me? I just met him, 4 or 5 years ago. Why you dying on me? And all of that, I was carrying that. I was bitter at him, but I was more upset at myself because I said I couldn't save him. Just trying to do CPR and stuff. So it took my mother to come in the room and said, "What's wrong with you?" Because I was walking around angry at myself and still angry at him. She said, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" I'm crying. "Oh, I couldn't save Jimmy because, I didn't do CPR." She said, "Boy, don't you know he was still alive when the paramedics came in the room?" I was like, "What are you talking about? You did just enough to keep him alive for the paramedics to come in the room." I was like, wow. It broke something off in me And what took it over the top, my mom said, "Don't you know he was there when you was born, but you was the last person. You was the last person he saw when you left, but you was the first person he saw when you were born, like that."
Wow.
But the point I'm trying to make is, even though I think I'll say the person said his father wasn't there for him, or he never knew his father, something like that.
Right. It wasn't around much when I was growing
He
up.
wasn't around much.
Much when I was growing up. And now that I'm a father, I'm trying to do everything differently. But sometimes I feel resentment creeping in, like I'm still angry at him for not being there.
But don't be angry at the person, because maybe he was just doing the best he could.
There you go.
The things he could have done, he did the best he could because he was around sometimes. I found out my father was around sometimes because it was the main argument that was going on with my mom's and my stepfather and the whole. That's a different story. But to forgive him and forgive yourself, because you carrying that bitterness, you carrying all that stuff, and don't carry that so much that it transfer over to your kids or your spouse. And that's when it lifted me. I said, I forgive myself because I did the best I could to try to save him. And I forgive him for putting discipline inside of me when I didn't want the discipline, because I was living even 10 years old doing what I wanted to do. So I hope that tied into the question that was answered.
Definitely a different angle on it. And I appreciate the fact of, like you said, not so much that he was the last person he saw was you, but the first person that you saw was him, in a sense, birth to death. So yeah, that's deep right there. Walt, do you have anything or no?
Yeah, man. So two things come to mind. The first thing is hating someone for something they've done to you is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. You understand? It kills you. So Doug, 100%, man, I understand. Once you forgive, that's for you, bro. That's not for him. That's for you. And when people see me, and I always say, hey man, how you been? Man, I'm good. In spite of myself, I'm still here. Because I know I haven't always gotten it right. You understand? My mother and father married in 58. I was born in 63. They separated in 68 and 68, and then they got divorced. So my mother and father were divorced, separated, and then divorced all of my life, most of my young life. My father and I had a relationship. My mother and I had a relationship. And as I got older and became a man and started to have relationships, there were things about my mother that I could definitely understand why my father wasn't married to my mother anymore. And there were things about my father that I could definitely understand why she wasn't married to him. And I'm glad they were, because to sit there and try to fool me and be miserable, I probably would have been more jacked up than what I am. You understand? So once I understood that and started having relationships of my own, I realized, man, I can't remember who said it. Somebody said people do the best that they can do under the circumstances, right? I'm gonna let you go on this one, Jack. But the one thing that came with my phone was this: the 09 Marine Corps veteran, the whole 9 yards. But I was probably 13, 14 years old. I don't even remember how old I was. But the worst thing in my life at that point had happened to me, and it was so bad I can't even tell you what it was. That's how bad it was. But at that point, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. And he said to me, well, I said to him, man, why did this have to happen to me? And he said, who the hell are you? He said, you carry my name. I'm the third. He said, if you can't carry my name, you need to change your name. He said, but let me ask you this. Which one of your friends do you want to call up and wish this on? And I thought that was the meanest thing he could have said to me at the time, because, man, I was upset. I was in my feelings. The reality of it is he was right. He was right. And once I realized that I am responsible for my happiness, I am responsible for what comes to me. I mean, regardless of what people do to you, man, that's the part to get, man. Hey, look, man, it ain't fair. Once I manage my expectations about what people owe me, I figured it out. And I take that bad feeling, those insults, the unfairness, I take that as information. And with that information, I know exactly where to put you. And I put you in your appropriate place. And a lot of times it's distance. You understand? I would detach myself from you or that situation. Because the reality is, long before you get somebody out your life, you already know where you ought to put them.
Yeah.
So with my father, back to this gentleman, I just always wanted to be honest with my daughter. You understand? I just always wanted to be honest with her. This is the reality of where we are or where you are right now. I know it may not be the best thing, but sitting here and tell you this same lie 6 years, 6 months, 6 years, 6 days, 6 months, 6 years from now, it's not going to help you grow as an individual. So let's deal with it one time and get it out the way. Because that's the only difference between success, people who have success and people who don't. What the old people used to tell us, if you don't have time to do it right the first time, when you going to have time to do it again? So if you just deal with the realities the first time, my experience, it works out better. So to this person, hey man, the fact that you are acknowledging that already tells me, like Eric said, that you're already on your way. I think it was Eric. Am I right, Eric? You already you're well on your way to doing what you need to do. And guess what? There is no manual. You're not going to always get it right. And sometimes it's going to take, and as men, us, it was us becoming men ourselves and having kids and wives and families ourselves before we realized, man, my old man was on to something. I know the first time I moved out the house, man, I'm like, how in the hell did my mother survive? Because I was making money, and I'm like, how did you do this? How did you make? How? And I was making more money than my mother was, relatively speaking, more money physically and relatively speaking. I was making much more money than my mother was, and she was supporting me. So I'm like, how did you do this? You know, so hey man, again, grace and mercy, understanding that the reality of life is, hey man, it's not going to always be perfect. It's not going to always work in your favor. And this young gentleman that wrote the letter, you on your way, because you are already self-aware enough to say that you recognize these things that you don't want to be, and he'll figure it out. But if you think you're gonna have all the answers, you're not gonna have all the answers. And most of you guys probably got more kids than me. I'm sure I don't have one, and I raised one, and I'm sure you got Jack. You got the baseball team, right? Four. You got a basketball team. So yeah, that's what it is, man. So hey, man, that's what it is. But that grace, forgiving yourself, is a huge part of it, man. Yeah. But you got to be on. I have to be honest enough with myself to say, okay, I literally have done all I can do. And I'll tell you something else. I'm gonna wrap it with this. We all here, we've been through 100% of what we've been through, and we live pretty good lives. I'm sure there's things we like to work on, like to fix, like to change. But understand this, man. You change one thing in your life, you change everything in your life. Are you willing to go back and change one thing to change everything and not be guaranteed to be where you are right now? You could be worse off than you are. You could have been dead and gone, or in much worse shape, man. So it's all a learning experience to me. I accept it. And once I accepted it, man, my life, I'm fine. I mean, it ain't always perfect, but I'm good. So that's where I'm at with it. So.
Good stuff from all of y'all. So learning father, if we could talk to you, I'm one of the people who are on the outside looking in. I probably had one of the best fathers in the world, 100% for other kids. Meaning he was a really good father to all the other kids. I was on the outside looking in. When I was born,
my main man you're talking about.
I'm saying that's your main man. He helped you. Some of the stories you tell, I'm like, man, that'd have been nice to go, and that'd been nice to do.
I understand.
So I'm like, so you telling me stories? I'm like, wow, he was a really nice guy. But but it's one of those things where I look at it as my mom was very young when she had me. My father had to be young too when I was born. So they were kids and they were learning, and some of the mistakes and some of the things he might have learned on how he handled me and the things that he didn't get to do with me, I'm gonna get better. Like this guy said, I want to be better for my kids. I'm gonna try to improve and get better. So I saw him with other kids, other people's children, and someone wanting his own. And it's like, man, this is a really nice guy. He's pretty cool. You know, I'm like, okay, so and because of that, I never disrespected him in front of people.
Right.
I never even called him outside of his name. You know, my mom never did it, and I didn't do it either. So, but with that came, he knew, and that was the whole thing with, Doug, you making the comment too. He knew what he did in my life. He knew what his part was and what he did and didn't do. And because of that, it wasn't for me to even pass any judgment. He had his own that he had to deal with. He had his own that he had to work with. And so that being said, all I could do was get better. He was my motivator because of the things that I didn't see or didn't receive. I said, with my own kids, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna do this, this, and this because I already know what it's like to have a person not there. So I'm gonna be there for my kids. So those were the things. But then circumstances, situations happen.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I say, I know it was a time when they were talking about when my mom, when I was conceived, they were like, they need to get married. My mom and they were too young. That the marriages ain't, like I say, just getting married ain't gonna change the situation. You got a kid to get married, like what? So we all get no, that's not the right answer. So, but with all that being, and then my mom's in the chat. So, and like I say, he was a really good guy. He was young, grew up with. So that was the thing. We grew up together. And that was the hard part, you know what I'm saying? My mom had me, and but she had already mentioned this in another show. She had me when she was 15 years old. So at 15, we're like brother sisters in a sense. Some siblings got that same distance between them, and that's your mom. So, and then my dad wasn't too far ahead of that. So we were growing up together. We were trying to figure out, when do you figure out who you are? I mean, I know we all on this panel still trying to, when I get older, I'm gonna do this. Like we're saying that, I'm saying that at 50, 55. So I can only imagine at 17, 18, what do you say? Yeah. So, but with that being said, the learning father is the one who sent in the letter. All you can do is love your kids. Love them the best that you can love them. Don't worry about what you didn't receive, and start focusing more on what you can give. And what you can give them is that understanding, that shoulder to cry on, as we talked in another session. Letting them know, that being a supporter, because this is where they're going to come in, teaching them those lessons that that we even talked about, that it's okay to cry. You don't have to, it's okay to support, but don't get taken advantage of. I mean, if you're, it is it's a partnership. And then even with that is, like I tell my kids now, you should be able to make sure that you can do it on your own. I don't care what you're going into. You should be able to do it on your own. If you can buy a house on your own, having a person to go in with you is a bonus. If you can buy a car on your own, having a person to go in with you is a bonus. So don't put yourself in a situation where I'm gonna put in half, you're gonna put in half, and that's all you got is half. Because if that one person pulls out, you're stuck. You're not going to be able to make it survive. So those are some of the things you try to teach your kids, because you want them to be able to grow up and be prosperous. And it's a learning moment. We're all learning. So 100%, this has been a great show with you guys. I thank you all.
Yes, sir.
I know when I reach out to you, I appreciate, and everyone I reach out to. Some say I can, some say I can't, but I'm glad we had this panel together. I like the questions. I hope the people that are out there listening now continue to send in questions, and we can dissect them on the panel. I don't know, fellas. I'm going to ask you all to stay back after we close this show out. But we thank you all for being here with us on the Gentleman's Journal, part of the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe. We're going to ask you to stay tuned, because we're still going into the last of we got the Battle of the Sexes coming up. We got what else? We got the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. The Ladies' Diaries coming up, and the Coach's Corner will be coming around. It's coming real soon as well. So, and then the Voice of Resilience is coming up as well. So there's a lot of different shows coming off. The Iron Sharpening Iron Universe is expanding. If you haven't checked out my trivia questions on the daily, and that's Trivia Time with Big Jack, you got to check them out and see if you can drop those answers. So we got so many different things going on. Eric, look, we popping off, man. We popping off. You gotta hang out with us. So, but so with all that being said, we're gonna ask you to have a good night, have a good weekend, and as I would say with anything, I close out is stay sharp, and we'll be talking to y'all later. All right, peace. Fellas, hang back for me, please.
Okay.
All right.